Okay, so we all know India's economy is a real juggernaut, right? But it's also navigating some pretty choppy global waters. So, what's really powering it forward? Well, today we're diving into the Indian Economic Survey to understand the three core engines driving the whole machine: agriculture, industry, and of course, services. Let's get right into it. This quote right here, it really nails the central challenge. Think about it. It's this weird paradox. The good news is, India's domestic economy is stronger than it's been in decades. The bad news? It's happening in a world that's, well, not exactly set up to reward that kind of success anymore. And that puzzle is what makes India's story so fascinating right now.
And this image, honestly, it's the perfect way to visualize it. India is a huge global player, deeply connected to everything. But when the global seas get rough, that connection can start to feel a lot more like a vulnerability than a strength. So, how do you steer a ship this massive through a storm like that?
Well, the first part of the answer, the place you look for an anchor, is right back at the foundation. We're talking about agriculture. Now, it might not be the flashiest part of the economy, but it is the absolute bedrock. It provides that crucial stability when everything else feels a little shaky. Now, you might look at a number like 14.4% and think, that's not huge. But don't let that fool you for a second. This sector is the economy's shock absorber. It's what provides a steady base, ensuring food security and employment, which lets the other, faster growing sectors really take off and take risks.
And here's what's really interesting. It's not just about traditional crops anymore. The big story is the explosion in these allied sectors. I mean, we're seeing massive growth in livestock and fisheries. These are becoming economic powerhouses all on their own. This kind of diversification is a total game changer, especially for boosting rural incomes.
Okay, so you've got agriculture holding down the fort, providing that stable base. That's what allows India to get ready for its next big move. And that's where industry comes into the picture. This is the engine of transformation, the sector that's really set to take India to a whole new level on the world stage. So, industry makes up nearly a third of the entire economy. It's already a huge player, but it's on the verge of something the Economic Survey calls the next leap. And this isn't just about getting bigger, it's about a fundamental change in what Indian industry is and what it's capable of. So, what does that mean? Well, it's not just about building more factories, it's about climbing up the value chain. So, think less about just assembling parts and more about designing the high-tech components that go inside them. The whole strategy is to become so deeply woven into global supply chains that the world can't operate without India. So we've got the foundation in agriculture and the transformation engine in industry. But what's the rocket fuel? Well, that's got to be the services sector. This is the absolute powerhouse of the Indian economy, the part that's really putting up those incredible growth numbers we keep hearing about. I mean, look at that number. Over half of the entire economy. Services is the undisputed heavyweight champion. It's the main driver of growth, of exports, of urban jobs. You really can't understand India's economic story without understanding the dominance of this sector. And listen, this is not your parents' services sector. We've seen this incredible evolution away from just call centers and into these cutting-edge R&D hubs. They're called global capability centers, and they're where the world's biggest companies are now coming to do their most important innovation. It's turning India into a global leader in technology and knowledge. So, okay, we've looked at these three incredible, distinct engines. Each one has its own special job to do. But how do they all fit together? Let's zoom out and look at the big picture. This chart just lays it all out so clearly, doesn't it? You can see that perfect division of labor. You've got services as the powerhouse for pure growth. You have industry as the engine for transformation. And you have agriculture as the engine for stability. It's this really elegant, balanced system where each part supports the others. And all of this strategy is building towards this one really powerful concept from the survey: strategic indispensability. It's a fascinating idea. It means you're moving beyond just being resilient enough to survive a global shock. The goal is to become so essential, so critical to the global economy, that you become indispensable. It's kind of the ultimate insurance policy in a very uncertain world. So that leaves us with this final big question. India has these three powerful but very different engines. The real challenge going forward is, how do you manage all of them at once? How do you balance the slow, steady pull of agriculture with the high-octane acceleration of services, all while industry is trying to rebuild the cars you're driving it? The answer to that question, well,
that's going to shape the future of India's economy for decades to come.